Okay, welcome to lesson 4, which is called improvisation. And improvisation means making stuff up as you go along. That's all it is. And that's what a lot of musicians do when they're playing boogie. They are making it up as they go based on things they already know how to play. And they're putting them in order, a random order, or order of a melody in their mind, or an order of a rhythm in their mind. But it's basically just taking things you know and mixing them up. So this lesson is about taking the things that we have learned in lessons 1, 2 and 3 and playing them in our own way, in our own order, in our own sequence, so that we are in fact making our own boogie-woogie solos. And what we've done so far is we've done the left hand, we've done several right hand ideas. I'm just going to run through them quickly. We've done this idea. We've done this idea. Just going over the F chord. This one. Going over the G chord. And we have done a run. Now the run is very important because this run we learned can be used to link the ideas together when we improvise. We learned some ideas in the previous lesson. We learned this idea. And we learned this idea. And we learned this idea. Now, what you need to do is to practice all that stuff so much that you just can play it without thinking. And this will take a long time. It takes a long time to assimilate things. And that's what we need to do if we want to improvise. But the good news is we can assimilate some of the things and improvise with a few of these ideas. We don't have to improvise with all of them. So I'm just going to take 2 of those ideas and I'm going to show you how to improvise with those ideas. So the 2 of the ideas are the first 2 we learned. So this one and this run. So I'm just going to play those things in any order I like, staying on the C chord, because this is the way into improvising, is to play just over one chord, just this, and then you just let your right hand go with the patterns that you have learned. So here we go. So there you have it. That was an improvisation based on 2 ideas that I showed you. Also, you can take things out as well as put things in. So gaps, very important in improvising. I didn't have any gaps there, but we want to put some in because we want to we call them phrases. Like when we talk, we have gaps between the phrases, and it's the same in music. We have gaps to let the music breathe and let it tell its story. So I'm going to do the same thing but making some gaps. And what we can do as well is we can simplify it even more and just take 3 notes to improvise, or 2 notes, or 1 note. And what I show some of my beginner students is to just take 3 notes, E flat, D and C, and just improvise with those 3 notes. Play them in any order you like. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play them like this. That's just 3 notes. You can even do it with just 2 notes. Even with 1 note, it doesn't matter. Just the idea is to make up your own musical ideas. So just take 1 note. Take the C. So, we've done there with 3 notes, we've done improvising with 2 notes, we've done improvising with 1 note. It doesn't matter how many notes there are. The idea is to make music and to make things that sound nice and sound good. So, let's try it now with 6 notes. So we've done 3 notes, let's do 6 notes. So, we know those ones, and we know these ones too, because they are part of the run that I showed you. And you should have practiced that run, so you should be familiar with it. If you haven't practiced it, you need to go back and learn it. And we know these 6 notes from the run that I showed you. If you haven't practiced that run, you should go back and learn it, because the way this course works is each lesson builds on what we learned in the lesson before. And there is a lesson coming up about practice and how to practice, but everything that's in the lesson you should learn and practice and assimilate it, absorb it, so that it becomes automatic and you can play it without thinking too much about what it is. So these 6 notes is E flat, D and C, B flat, A and G, and they form that run that I showed you. We can use them to improvise, because we can play them in any order we like to make a cool melody. So I'm going to improvise now using those 6 notes. Just an idea that I just made that up. I just played the notes, let them play in any order I like, and That's what you should aspire to do, not only with the notes, but with all the things I showed you. Now, I'm going to put all the things I showed you up to now in a piece that I'm just going to make up. And these are all things that I've shown you in the lessons 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. And I want you to notice how I use the run to link up some of the ideas together. 2, 3, 4. So there you go, that was an improvisation made up of things that I showed you in lessons 1, 2 and 3. And you just have to learn everything that I showed you and keep practicing it and practice playing it in any order you like, along with the left hand. That's the only way to learn this stuff. So it will take a long time, but you should definitely do it. And the next lesson, I'm going to set up a practice routine to show you how to practice all these things that I'm showing you, because how to practice is very important, and how long to practice is very important. So let's move on now to lesson number 5, which is establishing a practice routine.